for all the infotainment across digital content. Subscribe to Digital Commentary.
Kota Factory 2 कब आ रही है? What's happening with that?
What I did was, I decided to be an assistant director. I worked as an assistant director for 6 years, and I learned quite a bit, and everything. So the way I think now, the way I feel now when I read a script is all a derivative, is all a learning from things that I have seen, heard, or absorbed all this while. So as a creator, you have to be fluid. You have to be ready for change, embrace the change, and don't change so much that you feel compromised.
Hello and welcome to the second episode of DC's Creators Show, जहाँ पर हम बातें करेंगे सिर्फ और सिर्फ creators से. And today we have with us Raghav Subbu, who has directed shows like Kota Factory and Hostel Daze. Welcome to the show, Raghav.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be on the show. This is probably the first time I'm doing an interview like this, and usually I have so many people around me. This is so one-on-one. It's a little scary.
Yeah, same here. Okay. So first things first. How does it feel like to be a director or a creator of shows like Kota Factory, Hostel Daze? Tell us about it.
Well, I'm as a creator, I'm extremely happy that these shows have done well. People have received it well, and it has got the right eyeballs and the set of ears for the show, and it has reached where it had to, and it is, and majorly I think as a director, as a creator, want to make stuff that is relevant, that stays relevant even after 60 years of existence. So that's something that stands the test of time and not something that people forget in 1 year or so.
Correct. Okay, let's dive into your
Mhm.
past. Tell us about your childhood and the film you watched that shaped the director in you.
Well, as a kid, or up until like 10 years ago, I did not know I wanted to be a director.
Okay.
I I wanted to be a copywriter. I wanted to write ads. I wanted to make ads.
Yeah.
So the major reason why I am in this line of work in this industry is because of advertising. So as a kid, my brother and I used to, like, when I was what, 7, 8, my brother and I used to play this game on whenever we used to watch TV. As soon as a segment got over, an ad used to play. So
Okay.
we had a guessing game as to which ad is going to be, which ad it is. Is it Dhara or is it Colgate? So within
Nice.
1 or 2 seconds, we had to come up with the name without knowing anything about that. So that's where the love for advertising got incepted, and then that's so films. I think at the same time, my father used to watch a lot of films. He still does.
Okay.
So there was a time when he got this Akai Aiwa
Yeah.
setup that used. They gave 200, 250 VCDs and DVDs just free with the setup. So films always used to be around at home, just waiting to be picked up. Even now, my father's watching Netflix all night. Now he's finished pretty much every show on Netflix, and
Oh,
he's going
oh
on
my
to
God.
Amazon Prime. Movie subscription. Yeah, he's now on Movie. So films have
Okay.
always been around my life, and I think it was just a natural progression and a natural way that this I took this path.
Correct. So you mentioned about advertising, and I kind of looked up on the internet and I found that you have worked in an ad agency for quite some time. So how did this switch from advertising to TVF happen?
Yeah, so I don't want to belittle advertising, because I a small and a whole part of me still loves advertising, and the chaos, yet the luxury of making an ad is just amazing. It's but when I was wanting to be a copywriter, I interned in a couple of places as a junior copywriter. And then I started realizing that everyone wants something functional. There's only a few brands out there who are ready to go a little wild or a little creative or a little fun.
Correct.
So it's that world, the space that they have created, and it's advertising. I understand it's that world that they want to sell. It's all great and happy and fun, but be it a car commercial, be it a hair commercial, be it a skin commercial, the treatment somehow always remain the same. We just changed the PPTs around.
Correct.
So it was extremely functional. So as I from so once I realized that copywriting is not really my fit, I saw that the director of an ad could have any say that he or she wanted. So a lot
Absolutely.
of stuff got changed around during pre-prod with the director and the client and agency. So I realized, oh, maybe if not writing, then the execution of it. That's one way to go.
Correct.
So so I gave up on writing, and then I went on to become an assistant director in a couple of ad production houses. Then again, I hit that brick wall. This is just 30-seconder. This is
True.
not going to get me anywhere close to a film that I probably want to make. Yes, they call it an ad film, but it's 30, maybe a minute long. And the maximum longest ad, I think, the Tata Sky ad, if you remember, by Curious Films. It was a really old, long about the prison, Tata Sky prison ad. That just blew my mind. So that ad cemented my deal. Okay, this is never going to happen in a long, long time. This is rare. And feature films अगर बनाना है, short films बनाना है, तो नहीं होगा भाई तेरे से इधर इस ad world में रह के.
Or it will take a very long time being in advertising.
It will take a very, yes, exactly. That's a very, very long, long, long time that I was not ready to invest. Despite having a lot of money, advertising pays a lot.
Because I have been
Extremely push
also
it.
a copywriter for some time, like for 6 7 months. I've worked in DW
Mm-hmm,
Mudra and all, so I
mm-hmm,
know
mm-hmm.
how it is.
Yeah, so you know how it is, and you know how it goes. So at the same time, around 2013, late 2013, I was getting a little low, and that's when TVF was budding or sprouting. They had 2 3 videos that went viral, like Gana Wala song,
Hmm.
Rowdies. So it's so funny that I remember showing it to one of the directors I was working. We showed Gana Wala song. I don't want to name the director. He's also made feature films now, but
Okay.
he's made that jump from ads to
Films.
feature films. Yeah, and he said, I clearly remember, ये internet वाले है ना कुछ दिनों के मेहमान हैं.
Right.
So you know I didn't think of that yet. TVF felt like an organic fit. It felt like I felt that this is the way to go. Uh, and I went up to TVF. I met Arunab Kumar, and it was December 2013, and he said, join us from Monday onwards. We didn't speak about money, nothing at all. I was like, yes, I'm so glad I just can do something that is wild and funny. Up until now we have always made fun of the mainstream, made our own versions of dirty versions of existing Bollywood songs. So बकचोदी तो हम अपने में था ही पहले
Hmm.
से ही. It's just that these guys are streamlining it and putting it to use and making views and being out there. So a part of me that used to make fun of people back in college, or just diss things, so that energy was all focused in a place like TVF, and it felt like my place. And since December 2013 to now, I'm still at TVF.
It felt like home.
It felt like second home. Yes, second
Ha,
home.
yeah, second one. Okay, nice. So now that you have done 2 3 shows and you have been involved with TVF since so long, directed so many sketches and all, how tell us this question is for aspiring writers or aspiring filmmakers. Show them the
Mhm.
process, like how to go, how can someone start if they want to venture into this digital filmmaking.
Well, honestly, when I used to look at existing directors, writers giving advice, I realized that it's their journey. It's what has worked for them is what they tell, and that's not necessary, and that's not absolutely right for you always.
Correct.
You have to carve your own path. There
Correct.
are several ways of doing it. You can either go to a film school, learn everything grammatically right, everything textually correct, and then you can find your way into the industry. But
Correct.
I chose a different way where I choose to stay in the grime, in the cogs, in the dirt, and then make my way up. So everyone has to have their own journey, and I will tell you what worked for me. But if aspiring writers, directors want to do something, do what feels right to you. What I did was, I decided to be an assistant director. I worked as an assistant director for 6 years, and I learned quite a bit, and everything. So the way I think now, the way I feel now when I read a script is all a derivative, is all a learning from things that I have seen, heard, or absorbed all this while. So there is
Hmm.
no right or wrong way of doing it, and everyone has to have their own process. So if you feel like you have an idea, just write it. Just send it to people, keep sending it, annoy people,
Correct.
uh, meet people. So you have to find a way. I mean, there's nothing hard and fast about this, but if you have an idea, you want to shoot it, just shoot it. Shoot the
Correct.
shit out of it. Put it up on YouTube. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Somebody sees it, yes, somebody might call you.
Correct.
If you think that going and knocking on every production house's door is going to work for you, do that. Just do it. Just don't just wait. Don't just call random people and say, sir, मैंने गाना लिखा है पर कहीं कुछ हो नहीं रहा है. गाना लिखा है तो बना लेना. भेज कहीं, किसी किसी को भेज. कहीं कहीं जा, हर जगह जाके पूछ, हर जगह किसी को मिल. it's
Correct.
it's it's just how the drive you need to have, that's more important than anything else. Even if you don't have talent right now, your talent will build, your craft will grow. So everything happens at its own sweet time. You just have to push for it.
Correct.
That's what I feel.
So, keeping in mind two critically acclaimed shows like Kota Factory, Hostel Days, आप हमें ये बताओ कि एक शो क्रिएशन प्रोसेस फ्रॉम आइडिएशन टू एग्जीक्यूशन, ये मतलब इसमें क्या क्या होते हैं, कैसे होता है ये फ्रॉम आइडिएशन टू रिलीज? टेल अस द प्रोसेस फॉर ऑडियंस.
Okay, so at TVF, I think we work a little different than most places. We have an in-house set of writers, and everything is talked about or jammed and fleshed out, as we say. यादव और खन्ना जो IITians है खुद, तो वो लोग ऐसे ही बोले कि हम लोग कुछ ऐसे बना सकते हैं. तो
करेक्ट.
हॉस्टल डेज का बता रहा हूँ मैं. तो ये ऐसे ही लिस्टिकल टाइप कुछ बना था. तो ये लोग बोले कि हॉस्टल में क्या होता है वो देखते हैं. So they sat down and then they started writing one thing after another, and one thing added, and then they both have different experiences of living in IIT at different campuses. So ऐसे बहुत सारे आइडियाज मिला मिला के एक लिस्टिकल बन गया. बट देन रियलाइज करे नहीं, और भी कुछ हो सकता है. लिस्टिकल लिखने का है, फिर लंबा लिस्टिकल हो गया, फिर एक स्केच हो गया. स्केच लिखने के बाद रियलाइज किया अरे नहीं यार, इसमें और भी भर सकता है, और भी इतना कुछ होता है, बहुत कुछ होता है. तो लिखते लिखते एक एपिसोड बन गया. फिर एपिसोड लिखते लिखते ऐसे रियलाइज हुआ इसका तो एक शो बना सकते हैं यार. तो शो बन गया. तो वो एक प्रोसेस है. अब दूसरा कोटा फैक्ट्री का फॉर एग्जांपल, काफी टाइम से हम चाह रहे थे कि आईआईटी प्रेपरेशन के ऊपर एक शो बनाए, क्योंकि ये थॉट काफी सालों से था हमारे हमारे रिजर्व में. ये शो अभी तक अनटच था, एंड किसी ने अभी तक बनाया नहीं था, एंड वी न्यू दैट इसमें पोटेंशियल है. पर अन अकेडमी केम एट द परफेक्ट टाइम. उन्हें उन्हें भी एक शो बनवाना था. एवरीथिंग जस्ट फिट.
सो मूविंग ऑन, हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इज वैलिडेशन फॉर यू? मतलब फर्क पड़ता है कि लोग अप्रिशिएट करते हैं, या मतलब अरे ठीक है मुझे अपने काम से मतलब है, मुझे मैं करूंगा अपना काम, अच्छा हुआ तो अच्छा हुआ, बुरा हुआ तो कोई बात नहीं, आगे अच्छा करूंगा. टेल अस अबाउट हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इज वैलिडेशन फॉर यू.
So I have so I believe that I'm making stuff for the audience. Yeah,
करेक्ट.
I am. but at the same time, I see it as art and less of entertainment. So there are two different schools of thought, art or entertainment hota hai. And as a personal goal, I want to blend those two things and not not call it two different schools of thought.
Correct.
So validation, it's great that the audience validation is what really matters for most of the creators. You know, ये show views and comments यार, मतलब वही वही है, उससे पता चलता है कि कहाँ जा रहा है आपका कंटेंट. I also feel that people people consume content like they consume food. तो उन्हें
Agree.
उन्हें जंक फूड भी पसंद है, और
Correct.
उन्हें घर घर का होलसम जूसी स्टेक भी पसंद है.
Correct.
So I want to give that wholesome meal to them and not a junk food.
Yeah. So आपने TVF में काफी सारे sketches, मतलब before you got Father season 1 to
Hmm.
direct, you have directed a lot of sketches and all. तो
Hmm.
उनमें से उन sketches में से tell us कि which is very close to your heart, which where you enjoyed making it, directing it.
Yes, definitely. So I when I see my older work, I always look at mistakes that I've made. मुझे
Correct.
मैं सिर्फ गलतियों को देखता हूँ कि अरे यार ये ऐसे क्यों है, ये ऐसे होना चाहिए था. So but uh, not taking away from everything that I've done, I also look at the little positives that I have known that this is my strong point, ये मेरा strong area है. और वो सोच के मेरा सबसे फेवरेट स्केच तो टिंडर क्यूट रहा होगा. आई थिंक उस वो स्केच जो है उसमें मुझे बहुत सारा बजट मिला था फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल,
Okay.
एंड आई हैड टू आई हैड टू मेक सेंस ऑफ दैट मनी and put it on screen. And I feel that I justified the budget. It got the views. It had a brand. That is my favorite sketch. That if someone sees that and then sees Kota Factory, I feel that they might be able to see some connection and some visual link.
Correct.
So, but at the same time, my other sketch that is very close to my heart, वो है Truth or Dare versus Dad.
Okay. Nice.
तो तो वो उसमें भी काफी सारा बजट था, जीतू पापा थे, एंड बट उसमें कुछ चीजें ऐसी हो गई थी कि उतना अच्छा नहीं आ रहा था. आई स्टिल डोंट लाइक द लुक ऑफ दैट sketch, and that sketch blew up. It is still the most viewed sketch of TVF till date, and I don't think it will be ever beaten. So ये दो sketches मेरे लिए बहुत करीब है.
A creator should never be satisfied with his work, right? He should always be looking for faults. Correct.
True, true. But sometimes it's good to think back and pat yourself on the back and say you have done something decent. It's
Correct.
not bad, it's decent, but keep your eye on the prize.
Yeah.
Eye
Be
on the prize.
self-aware. Correct.
Yes.
So, आपने last year Vidnet का एक master class में you went as a speaker and you know
Mhm.
talked about how to make a hard-hitting, compelling web series and all, how to direct.
Mhm.
So, tell us the highlights of it in short.
Yeah. So they wanted to do like a part video and part explanation sort of a thing. So I, like almost like a video essay of sorts. That's
Okay.
the format that they wanted it in. So I
Okay.
played a few scenes of Kota Factory. That's when Kota Factory had released,
Okay.
and I gave them an idea as to what was going through my head when I was thinking about this scene, what I was
Nice.
imagining, how did I visualize this scene, what happened on set, and what we actually shot. So just I'll tell you one instance, for example.
Yes.
Yeah, तो स्क्रिप्ट में लिखा है फर्स्ट एपिसोड में कि वैभव वॉक्स अगेंस्ट द क्राउड at the first quarter, at the one third of the episode. He
Okay.
walks against the crowd. Then in the middle of the episode, he walks against the crowd again. and at the end of the episode, he joins the crowd. So, when I was reading the script, I always imagined it to be like a tele shot, just web पे focus है, or you can see 60, 70 kids walking in and वो cut करके जा रहा है. So that was the first initial thought. And I was okay with it, because it would have been like a super tele shot, focus only on web. I was pretty happy with that thought. फिर हम रेकी के ले गए और जब एक्सटीरियर ऑफ वो लोकेशन देखा, लोकेशन तो सही था. फिर मैंने ऊपर देखा and there was this circle with patterns, with checkered patterns, and I'm just looking at it. I have my DP on my side. I'm like, Jared, Jared, drone, and it just clicked. It just clicked. So instead of doing that tele shot, keeping it on the ground, हम लोग ने drone उड़ाया, and we had a great drone operator. We had a great drone operator. He just nailed all of it. So instead of cutting through the crowd from eye level, we did cutting through the crowd from a drone. So there are different. So what you think before you go on set might not necessarily be what you shoot, and what you go on to shoot might not necessarily be what you edit and show in the final cut.
Correct.
So as a creator, you have to be fluid. You have to be ready for change, embrace the change, and don't change so much that you feel compromised.
Yeah. So I very much loved the BGM of Kota Factory and all the songs also. How did it all shape up the BGM?
So when I was reading the script, I realized that these are kids, ये बच्चे हैं, ये 16-17 साल के बच्चे हैं. They have no sense of style. They have no personality. They do not understand the world as it is, and they are here only to study and make a better life for themselves.
Correct.
Yeah. So I realized that they might probably not listen to music. There is no culture of rap or heavy metal,
Correct.
that you see in other colleges. So there
Correct.
could not have been something, a genre that could define the children who study in Kota. So so that led me to think, what is that one instrument that I want to hear throughout whenever I hear and see the show. And the automatic answer for me in my head was a piano. So the
Correct.
piano is the centerpiece of the music and the sound of Kota Factory. And that was the brief I gave Simran and Karthik, Simran Hora and Karthik Rao. तो वो मुझे थीम करना था, और कोटा फैक्ट्री में थीम के लिए that cornerstone, that jewel was the piano. So Simran और Karthik ने according to moods, according to characters, कुछ instruments डाले. For example, Mina's instrument is the flute. So you will hear different uh, feels and different ideas musically, but there's the piano throughout. And because there's this thing called recall and repetition, and that helps the audience. Despite me hearing the same theme, it's a different feeling that I'm getting.
Nice. So I was talking on Instagram, मतलब research कर रहा था मैं, तो मैं देखा you are kind of on a movie watching spree. So tell us about it. What is the goal?
Yes. Okay. तो I think Mami October 2019 में खत्म हुआ था, and that's when I thought of why not watch a movie every day. This is and I've been going to Mami for 2 3 years, I think. And it's like a pilgrimage, जैसा मक्का मदीना जाने जैसा है, जैसे भगवान के घर जाते हो वैसे वैसा वाला फीलिंग आता है. वो 7 दिन सिर्फ फिल्में देखनी है और बस absorb a lot of content and be disconnected from the world. So that's when I realized that what if I watch one film every day? क्या होगा? kya hi hoga if I watch one film every day? I was like, yeah, that's a very good idea. But then, there was work going on, बहुत कुछ चल रहा था. And I decided, maybe December में सब लोग वो resolution पकड़ना शुरू करते कि मैं weight loss करूंगा, मैं ये वो करूंगा. मैंने बहुत सारे resolutions किए life में, आज तक कुछ नहीं हुआ. तो पहली बार 29 years में मैं कुछ resolution कर रहा हूँ और वो I'm sticking to it. So my resolution was I'll watch one film every day, no matter what happens in the day, no matter
Hmm.
I have a bad day, I have a good day, I might have a stressful day, but काम करके आओ घर पे एक film देखो. कोई भी like rewatch ho, be it any country, be it any language, be it any year of release, be it any duration. Just don't even I don't even read the IMDb lines. I don't even go see the ratings. Just
Okay.
film dekha and just go for it. Just stream it. Go movie, and I got a movie subscription, which helped me open up this vault of cinema
Correct.
that just hit me. So one film a day and 365 films karni hai, but I'm already on my 259th film
Yes.
since Jan 1st.
Because of the lockdown, right? Lockdown helped you.
Because of the lockdown, yes, in a way. Lockdown has helped me in a way, but I was watching more films before the lockdown, honestly.
Okay.
I could do because अब भाई नहीं है, काम खुद
Correct.
करना पड़ता
Correct.
है, and घर में, so there's always some little thing to be done here and there. So
Of
I'm trying to watch 2 films a day now,
And
movies.
it's good that you are putting it on your Instagram. Anyone who likes your work or likes you as a director or a creator, he can go and directly watch it from your Instagram posts and all or stories and all.
Yes. That was so social media for me. Putting it up on social media is just a way to control and keep myself in check. 365
Yeah,
करना ही है भाई इस साल.
correct.
Not give
Motivation.
up. तो वो है. Yes, motivation है. Otherwise social media से हम दूर ही रहते
Yeah, you are very far away. Correct, correct, correct.
हैं. Yeah.
So the next question on films only again. Suggest,
Uh-huh.
tell us five foreign films or shows and five Indian films or shows for our audience, which you would like to them to watch.
I like every kind of film, that has, be it a slow burner or be it, extremely art house, or be it like super entertaining. So everything, I watch everything under the sun, and there are some films that just stay. So first on that list will be Vitalina Varela.
Okay. I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's this film by Pedro Costa. Is just a film that I saw in last year's Mami and just blew me away. That something so existentially beautiful and just a pure sense of visual style, and that film is I don't think I can make a film like that. It's just amazing that film exists, and that'll always be number one on my list. Number two is The Thin Red Line. It's a film by Terence Malick.
Yeah, I know of
You
him.
heard of it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I've seen
So yeah,
few films.
The director of Tree of Life. So Thin Red Line is probably one of the grittiest, one of the more real and more human war films I have seen in a really long time. The Blues Brothers. I recently watched this film, and it was the perfect balance between crazy goofball comedy with the perfect number of gags and just spot on performances. So the Blues Brothers is a film that I think everyone should watch. I think the fourth film that I recommend and really like is Be Kind Rewind.
I have seen that. I have seen that.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful movie, isn't it? It's just, and it is, I think it is easily adaptable in the Indian space, and we can definitely, I don't know if I get a chance, maybe if I speak to Michel Gondry in a couple of years, I'll speak to him about making the movie in India, because that film is so easily remakeable, and it's just amazing that that film is just beautiful. And the fifth film I would recommend everyone, uh, purely because it is a whole new school of thought, and because people will understand the other side of real cinema, is Andrei Tarkovsky's Stalker. I
Okay.
think that is one film that everyone should watch once in their life. Even if you might hate it, you might love it, you might think it's the slowest film that you have probably seen. You might think that this is probably like this film opens up things and feelings that I had never felt before, and I don't think a film like that can ever be made again. And it's that film where you think कि अरे भाई ये ऐसा film कभी बना नहीं है और बन भी नहीं सकता. Or you'll be like अरे ये क्या film बना है यार, ये क्या बना दिया, बोर कर रहा है, नींद आ रही है. It's that. So I would recommend this film to anyone and everyone who hasn't seen Andrei Tarkovsky's work. So Stalker is number five.
What would be your views on the contemporary content creation? Like everyone is making the same kind of content. Like we now have almost a crime show on almost every OTT. What do you have to say
Mhm.
about this phenomenon?
You know, honestly, I feel every type of content should exist. And, like I said, people like junk food and people like wholesome meals. So everyone should be given the right and the choice to consume whatever they want.
Correct.
So, stuff like an Alt Balaji's show also should exist, and Paatal Lok or a Sacred Games also should exist. Only when you uh, have such so much content going out there, only the best stuff will float to the top. You know,
Correct.
uh, so I'm pro content creation of every type of every genre, but but when people are making stuff as writers, as creators, as producers, we should have that integrity and that school of thought that says, I want to make stuff that lasts. I want to make stuff that is relevant.
Correct.
I don't want to rehash something that already exists. I don't want to remake stuff that already is there. Or if I'm remaking something, then how do I put my spin on it that people don't realize that it's a remake?
Absolutely.
So, so as content creators, we should not be lazy by just ripping off other people's work. But if you are ripping off other people's work, do it creatively, man. Everything should exist. Everyone should make
Correct.
stuff, and and it's job opportunities for a lot of people. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's everyone. Yeah. So everything should exist.
Yeah. So moving on, tell me what do you how do you differentiate between a digital content and a TV content? What is the prime thing that differentiates a digital content or a TV content?
I think first of all, just the creative freedom.
Most importantly.
The freedom. Yes, that's number one and will always be number one. The freedom that you have to do any kind of shot, any kind of story, any kind of protagonist, however broken, gray, dark, or not so good looking, you know. So just the fact that being able to tell stories that that brush against convention, that might not necessarily be all hunky dory, and might not have 150 episodes in it. It can just have five, and it can be a wholesome meal. So that is number one. Number two, I think the restrictiveness, the again is a byproduct of freedom itself. Uh, the bracket that you have to stick in television. Like for example, your episode has to be within 21 minutes,
Hmm.
and it cannot exceed. Otherwise, there won't be any space for ads that play in between each uh, scene. Mhm.
How do you think this COVID-19 is going to change filmmaking? क्या changes होने वाले हैं? Will storytelling change, or how are we going to begin filmmaking in a new era?
Uh, s- story Storytelling should not change and will not change. We will, as a creator, as a director, I will not compromise on having 200 people sets where you need that. So, for example, in a Kota factory, when you're doing uh, uh, a shot of say 200 students walking, I won't minimize on that. I won't minimize on uh, you know doing two individual closes of people because I want them to be far away. I
Correct.
would want them to be involved in a two shot and just put that camera there and let it roll and let it play and let them be close to each other. So I'm rigid against that thought that uh, uh, we can always work around this or put a little a little speed breaker to your creativity. But I'm hoping that we find a vaccine very soon.
But it is also true
But
that we'll have to live with this disease, just like cold and cough
true.
and anything
Hmm.
that has come.
Hmm. Right. I mean, this is going to be the new normal, and we have to find ways to work around this. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and Instagram lives where people are talking about, this will double the time. If everyone wants to do things, for example, you have your set, you have your location, you have your room, your interior. First the art guys will come in, the production design team will come in, do their thing and leave. All of them will leave. Then the lighting team will come in, the gaffer will come in, they'll do their thing and leave. All of them will leave. Then the actors will come in and then they'll do their thing. Propping and everything will happen. Everything will take its own sweet time. Every department will have their own monitor. Everyone
Correct.
will be away from each other. Briefing the actors. Well, stuff like I don't want to walk up to the actor and tell him, so I'll probably have like that in-ear piece that the actors have. That is in Hollywood. They have an in-ear piece that is directly attached to the director.
Correct.
So we need to have bigger budgets considering this COVID-19 has struck us. So as a production house, everyone out there needs to invest that money into safeguarding every crew member because every life is important. Because if one person gets it, the whole crew will immediately get it, and there's no stopping. So our budgets have to double. But considering the time, there is very little money in the world. Everyone's hitting recession. The pool of fund is going to go down. So how are people going to manage to find that fund to make a show? So
Correct.
there's a lot of stuff. Like the food handling, the people who transport you from location to location, from your hotel to the location. How do we take care of them? They cannot go home. There are so many ways of getting contaminated. Keeping the audience, like the crowds away. So that's going to take a lot more money. Uh, so hiring sets for longer time, hiring props for a longer time, hiring everything for a longer time. Everything doubles. The
Correct.
money, the time, the effort. We might have to reduce the number of people on set also. That increases time. So there's just so many things at play, and I don't think our industry has quite figured it out just yet.
Correct. So, lastly, last question. What are your upcoming projects and Kota Factory 2 कब आ रही है? What's happening with that?
सच बताओ तो हम अभी शूट कर रहे होते कोटा फैक्ट्री अगर ये पैंडेमिक नहीं होता.
Oh, nice. Shit.
And what is it? It's June, right? It's June 5th. We would have been probably done with the quota schedule and would have been here in Bombay to do the Bombay schedule.
Oh, shit.
So everything was planned, everything was working out fine. Our team was on board, the crew was ready, actors के साथ reading होने वाले थे, and then pandemic हो गया.
Okay. So that's it. We are almost at the end of it. I would like you to request our audience to like, subscribe, and share our video.
Okay, so I request and instruct and command everyone to like and share this video because not many people want or care about content creators. They just care about actors. Share this video. You have to know who's behind the camera and who's calling the shots. And watch out for this segment because there will be a lot more directors and creators coming to the show.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, then that's it. Thank you, Raghav.
Yes.
It was nice
Thank you
talking
so
to you.
much. Thank you.